What's happening, subscribers? Welcome back to the Cash Flower community. It's so nice to see you here on the channel. Oh man, we're on a mission to hit 100,000 just around the bend. I can't wait. I don't know why that's such a big goal, but I'm very excited about it. And I want to thank you guys for joining the community. If you haven't yet subscribed, consider doing so. Not only are you going to receive some of the best tips, tricks, little known secrets of how to bank and borrow the right way, how to actually manage your money the right way, how to have a lot less debt, how to have access to a lot more money, how to have access to perfect credit. But as a subscriber and an active participant here on the channel, you can remain eligible to win things like this $25 Amazon gift card, which is going to be given away here on today's episode. So stay tuned for that. Now, today what we're going to talk about are collections. Got a few points I want to make on this. There are other details that we've discussed in other videos and we'll continue to discuss in future videos, but very important little trick that just recently happened with a coaching member. Her name is Leslie, and it can happen to absolutely anybody. So before you go clicking off of this video thinking this topic doesn't apply to me because I'm the perfect borrower and I paid on time every time, this can happen to you, and it can also destroy years of opportunity for you. So let's talk a little bit about collections. Now, first of all, for those of you who are unaware, collection accounts are purchased for pennies on the dollar. So obviously you've got your primary creditor, the person you've been making payments to. Something happens where you're unable to make a payment and they then turn around, write the collection off as a charge off, where they then obviously receive tax benefits from that, and they put it on the open market where that account is then sold. So the highest bidder will then win the account, and they might spend 5, 10, 15, 20 cents on every dollar that you owe. And it's obviously then up to that collection agency to come after you for the money, and anything above what they paid for it that they're able to collect is a profit to them. Once the collection agency has this account, it's going to start reporting on your credit report as a derogatory, and it'll have an outstanding balance. Now, to give you a little background on myself, back in 2000, we launched VIP as a wholesale residential mortgage company, and it was actually under the name America's Mortgage. And VIP Financial Education was teaching classes alongside America's Mortgage, and people that would come to our classes would oftentimes want a home loan. And this was in the heart of the refinance boom, which was a crazy experience to be involved with. We really focused more on conventional lending, paper borrowers. So I didn't really dip my toes much into the subprime lending world, but obviously we were super aware of everything that was going on, not big believers or subscribers to what was taking place, and for obvious reasons. One thing that we learned was that new lenders are not interested in lending if you have an outstanding balance to really anybody. Any past due balance that you owe, whether it be a collection or to one of your existing first party creditors, you know, those accounts are generally going to have to be paid or caught up. That past due amount will need to be caught up before you're able to qualify for new money. That seems fair, right? I mean, look, you wouldn't want to lend to somebody if they owed somebody else money and weren't paying on time. So a lot of borrowers are tempted to go out and just simply pay this loan. And what we began learning early on was that by doing so, it would actually cause harm to credit. And that seemed unexpected, surprising. Not only were the borrowers alarmed when this happened, but we were caught by surprise. And this was shortly before we actually hired some of the pioneers of the credit industry to mentor us. So we've been through many different coaching programs ourselves as well. And one of those coaching programs was with one of the original creators of the first FICO credit scoring algorithm. And what we learned at that time was that the date of last activity that shows up on your credit report with each and every trade line, including collection accounts, is updated upon a payment or full payment being made. So if you make a partial or a full payment, the date of last activity associated with that account will become current, which then means that you have a current brand new collection account associated with your credit versus a collection account that had been seasoned for however long since the latest activity took place, which could have been even years. So as years go by, seasoning is established, and all of a sudden the impact of that collection account is affecting you less and less. In fact, once you hit a 36-month and beyond seasoning point, most of the time the impact to your credit scores is minimal at best. If it's still having a large impact on your credit, it's because your credit doesn't have enough depth to it. So if you were to go in and after 1, 2, 3 years pay that account and it becomes updated, suddenly your scores plummet and the likelihood of you being able to qualify for that new loan becomes less likely as well. So it's almost a catch-22. So what is one of the key solutions here? Well, first of all, I would only negotiate settlement of this account upon removal of the account. So what you do is you contact the creditor directly, and you're not there to try and create conflict. We've learned that statistically you're much better off trying to earn an empathetic friend on the other end of the phone. And just understand that most of the time these call centers are massive with lots and lots of individuals that are earning very little money, and they have a tough job. I mean, imagine buying an account for pennies on the dollar of what's owed for that account, and then being the low wage employee that has to pick up the phone and start harassing people, harassing friends and family and employers. And while there are laws to protect against that sort of thing, a lot of these companies break those laws, and it's up to the employees to kind of follow through on the direction of their employer. So with that in mind, you can experience a lot of this, and sometimes these employees are a bit on the defense. So if you go in there on the attack because you're offended and you obviously are frustrated about this, it won't likely get you where you want to end up. In fact, we've even been hung up on in the past. So while the aggressive approach is something that we certainly are more tempted to take, the more passive, emotional approach seems to work a little bit better. So what you want to do is call, and it's not about giving sob stories. What we've learned is that if you can at least set the implication that there's a potential that you're going to consider filing bankruptcy, and here's how you'll consider filing bankruptcy. All right, not easy to consider. Well, it's easy, but certainly not fun to consider. But now that I've considered it, I can contact that creditor and explain that, look, and let's go ahead and just do a quick role play here. We'll do it with this $25 Amazon gift card. Yes, hello. My name is Matthew Pillmore, and it looks like I have an account with you guys that I'm unfamiliar with. I just ran a credit report, and I'm in the process right now of trying to get my finances in order, because up till now I have considered bankruptcy, which I would really rather prefer avoiding. However, given the way that things are going, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, and a lot of it rides on the outcome of our conversation. So I'm hopeful that you might be able to help me out with this account, because I want to do whatever's possible in order to get this this account removed from my report. As it stands right now, this account is destroying my credit. And if I'm unable to have a positive impact on my credit by way of negotiating a payment with you guys, then it might make better sense for me to consider a bankruptcy. And so what I'm hopeful for is that I can speak with somebody that would have the decision-making ability to remove this account if I'm able to, if we can come up with a payment that works for you guys. Is that something that you would be open to considering? All right, now, chances are you're gonna get somebody that'll say no. Doesn't mean that that's where the buck stops. You could actually ask to speak with a supervisor, which I would recommend you do. If that supervisor is also unresponsive to that conversation, then it might make sense for you to hang up the phone and call again in a day or 2 days and just see if you can get somebody different. Again, most of the time these call centers have a lot of people working there. So it's just a matter of getting somebody that's having a great day and wants to help you out on the other end of the phone. Now, here is priority number one, negotiating for removal. You want the account to be removed. It's not good enough to have them just simply update the account with a zero balance. The balance is not what is affecting the score. It's the negative reporting of the derogatory account, the collection account. It can have a zero balance and still be negatively affecting you. So number one priority is getting the account removed from the report. The way that you best go about having that happen with a 99+ accuracy percentage is you're getting a letter from the creditor, from the collection agency, on their letterhead and signed by some form of a manager that states that that account was reported in error and should be removed from the credit report. The account numbers need to match from the letterhead to the credit report. So make sure that that's a part of the conversation if you end up with somebody on the other end of the phone that's receptive to this. The second thing that you want to look at as a priority is potentially paying less for that account than what's actually owed. Again, the angle that we're coming in with on this conversation is we are scratching together every single last penny, nickel, dime, and quarter out of the couch cushions to make this happen. We're going to be contacting family, we're going to be contacting friends to see just how much we can come up with in order to get this account paid in full. But what would be the absolute minimum that you guys would be willing to accept and still agree to remove the account from my credit report? Again, I'm going to approach everybody I know that might be willing to help me with this. I don't know for sure if it's going to be successful, but what is the minimum you'd be willing to take if I could get, that dollar amount together within the next couple of days? Now, keep in mind, if you do get a creditor that's willing to settle for less than the full balance, or that's even willing to take the full payment in exchange for removing the account, they're usually going to require you to pay in full within days or just a couple of weeks. And they'll put a firm deadline on that. If you do not meet that payment by the deadline, usually it cancels out any negotiated terms that you guys had verbally agreed to. So do not agree to pay the collection account if they are unwilling to remove it from your credit report. At that point, it will make better sense for you to explore every possible option that you have, including possibly hiring a credit repair company, credit restoration company, somebody that has a professional track record of highly reputable account deletions. Now, if the account technically belongs to you and it's not erroneous, attacking that account for removal and arguing that it is in fact not your account is a violation of terms of credit repair. So you've got to be very careful about how you go about doing this, but do not pay a collection account if one happens to show up. And I'll give you the most common set of circumstances, which is exactly what happened to our friend Leslie, the coaching member that just recently successfully negotiated for her collection agency to remove an erroneous medical collection that had been reported as a result of her health insurance company not paying the medical bill in time. And that is something that we have seen time and time again for the last almost 20 years, is people showing up with an unexpected bill on their credit report, a collection account that happens as a result of an insurance company delaying payment because of all the red tape that happens through the processing through your policy. So guys, I hope this has helped you. If you want us to continue to do topics around derogatories or negatively influential types of credit circumstances, please go ahead and drop a like on this video. I know it goes a little bit outside of our typical demographic. Most of the people that find this channel the most beneficial are people that are already doing very well with their finances. We consider our channel to be the 202 version of Dave Ramsey. It's a bit of a combination of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad philosophies and Dave Ramsey's more conservative approach to money management. So it's all about being fiscally responsible, but also being creatively aggressive while not taking unnecessary risks. It's all about safely getting the upper hand on the banks. And one of our longtime subscribers, Kay Lee, is this week's champion $25 Amazon gift card. We give these out every single week. We're going to be giving them out all the way till October. We're also giving away 1 2-hour Skype phone coaching session with yours truly. That is happening one time per month, so make sure that you read the eligibility requirements below in the description. And finally, if you have not yet had your free coaching session that we offer to everybody, which is a 1 hour up to 1 hour one-on-one phone coaching session to determine where you are, where you want to end up, and exactly how what we talk about on this channel can improve your circumstances and fast track you to your goals, then make sure you click the link below, freecoachingcalendar.com. Now, I'm going to forewarn you, we do have a long wait on those free coaching sessions. In fact, I think we're scheduling all the way out until the end of the year and beginning of next. So because of that, if you are interested in fast tracking, you've seen our other videos, you've been plugging in and watching a number of the video trainings, and you say to yourself, I'm serious about my money. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I'm sick of looking at my statements every month and seeing how much of what I earn is going into the bank's back pockets in interest costs. If you're sick of looking at less than perfect credit, if you're tired of looking at perfect credit and not understanding how it can benefit you in creating wealth, then this is the channel for you, and you can fast track with one-on-one mentorship by just simply selecting the QuickStart option when you visit freecoachingcalendar.com. So we look forward to helping absolutely every one of you reach your goals in a fraction of the time. In the meantime, make sure that you become a subscriber to the channel, guys. Subscribe, okay? Click the bell notifications in order to be alerted every time we drop new content on the channel. When you start to deep dive into the video content on this channel, you're going to begin to understand what you were actually deprived of. And it's frustrating. I'm going to warn you. The very first reaction that I had was, what the hell, man? I mean, as I started to learn this, I was PO'd about the fact that I'm now 25 years old and I've been in the financial world for almost 6 years. And guess what? I hadn't heard of any of it. So guys, that was my initial first impression. And here I am almost 15 years after that. And this has made us millions. And right now we're earning over 6 figures every single month in profit by utilizing these techniques that are taught here on this channel. And if that sounds exciting to you, if you want to understand how to get the best of the banks, if you want to see how to pay off all your debt, this is the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Congratulations, Kay Lee. Thank you so much for your viewership. And to all of you, we'll see you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day and take care.